Hello and welcome to the program. The Israeli defense minister has sent a clear message to the people of Lebanon. Israel will strike back hard if Hezbollah keeps increasing attacks against the Jewish state.
He told the people of Lebanon to expect destruction if Israel launches a military response. Chris Mitchell brings us the story from Jerusalem.
Israeli Defense Minister Yoav Gallant delivered a rare warning Thursday directly to the Lebanese people in Arabic. On X, Gallant wrote, "The state of Israel seeks peace, prosperity, and stability on both sides of the northern border. Therefore, we will not allow the Hezbollah militia to destabilize the border and the region. If Hezbollah continues its aggression, Israel will fight it with all its might." He reminded the Lebanese how the Second Lebanon War in 2006 was a disaster and quoted an Arabic saying, "He who plays with fire may expect destruction." Yigal Karman, the founder of the Middle East Media Research Institute, tells CBN News Hezbollah may not want to pay the price of a full-scale war.
They want also only attrition, but Israel told them, no attrition, we go full force against Lebanon. Not only you, against Lebanon. This is pretty high price to pay.
Actual combat may not have begun, but Gallant says Iran and Hezbollah are already waging psychological warfare on the Israeli public.
There's a psychological attempt by the enemy to sow fear, to tell stories, to intimidate.
The New York Times reporting that Hezbollah will likely strike first in a separate attack before Iran conducts its own retaliation, as the U.S. warns Iran not to attack.
It's been the focus of our diplomatic engagements is we continue to make clear to Iran that they should not escalate this conflict.
Karman says Israel is projecting a different message to its enemies than a few months ago.
Israel behaved unlike before. It said clearly, if you attack us, we go against you full force, no matter what, no matter the position of the American administration. This scares them a lot.
And Israeli Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu apologized for the Hamas sneak attacks on October 7th in an interview with Time magazine, saying, "You always look back and say, could we have done things that would have prevented it?" He added that a commission of inquiry into how October 7th happened should wait until the war is over.
All right, well, Chris is with us now from Jerusalem. Chris, the immediate threat to Israel seems to be coming from Hezbollah. How concerned is the Israeli government that they would launch an attack even without coordinating with Iran?
Well, they are concerned about that, that if they would attack first. But right now, Andrew, what we're hearing is a lot of rumors of war. And as Yigal Karman said in our story, despite the rhetoric coming from Hezbollah, they too may be counting the cost. They know how to respond, but they don't want to provoke a full-scale war. In addition to that direct message from Yoav Gallant to the Lebanese people in Arabic, even now drones are flying over Lebanon, blaming Israel and Nasrallah for what's coming to Lebanon. They're trying to reach out directly to the Lebanese people who do not want war. They really don't, and they're sort of captive by Hezbollah right now because they know the consequences for a war are not going to be just devastating to Hezbollah, but also the Lebanese people.
So is there real thought that Iran will hold off on striking Israel?
They are. That's exactly what we've been hearing in the last several days, Andrew. And we have been wondering, is Iran going to attack? When? Will it be as big as it was on April 13th and 14th when they fired 350 drones, ballistic missiles, and cruise missiles? So Iran itself may be holding off on a major retaliation, counting the cost. They're considering the scope of an Israeli response, which apparently would be bigger than it was in April. They're getting pressure from the U.S. and also Israel and its allies. They're setting up a defensive shield. It's pretty formidable. It really worked in April, and we have the second visit by the CENTCOM Commander General Michael Kurilla in the region. So even restraint is coming from Russia against Iran. So we're seeing a lot of things going on. I think we're seeing the tip of the iceberg, or perhaps the pressure on Iran to hold back.
Chris, psychological warfare, obviously, as you know, is a very real thing. It's been 10-plus days or so since Israel has been prepping, waiting for this attack. hasn't really occurred yet in a massive way. What's the mood of the Israeli people right now? Have they just learned to live this way?
Yeah, they do. And I've been asking a lot of my Israeli friends about that. The answer I got last night, two answers I got yesterday. One was tense, very tense for the Israelis to know when's going to happen, what's going to happen, and how big it's going to be. But the other answer I got was resolute, and the key word was resilient, that the Israeli people are resilient. It's a historically traumatic time, you know, sort of like before the Six-Day War. But Israelis keep going. There is a quote from the late Israeli Prime Minister Golda Meir. He said, Israelis have a secret weapon. They have nowhere else to go. They are home, so that that's their secret weapon. A retired general told me earlier this week they have God on their side. And for those that believe in the Bible, they know their enemies of Israel won't succeed. That's why people here say in Hebrew, Am Israel High, the people of Israel live.
Well, there are many people praying for the entire region. Tell us about the growing prayer movement for Israel specifically.
Andrew, it's unprecedented what I've been hearing. It's global. It's here in the land, on the land. It's online. And many people are praying Isaiah 62, 6 and 7, meaning give the Lord no rest till he makes Jerusalem a praise in all the earth. It's having an impact. We have reports of miracles from the front lines. There's a question, you know, could the restraint right now on Israel's enemies be an answer to prayer? And this is a quote from somebody that we were talking to. The devils never faced the sort of prayer army that God has raised up for such a time as this. He says it's a work of the Holy Spirit. Nobody can take credit for it, but they're doing now because there's a sense that it's a kingdom destiny at stake in this conflict right now.
All right, Chris, we always appreciate your team and your reporting. Stay safe, and thank you for joining us today. In other news, former President Donald Trump and Vice President Kamala Harris have agreed to debate next month, and they may do so more than once. We will see. Brody Carter has the story from the CBN newsroom. Brody.
Andrew, thank you. The former president holding an hour-long press conference at Mar-a-Lago Thursday, marking a contrast to the fact that Harris has stayed away from the media since becoming the Democratic nominee. And he challenged the vice president to more debates. Here's CBN's Washington correspondent, Caitlin Burke.
I look forward to the debates because I think we have to set the record straight.
A primetime debate with ABC News now confirmed by both camps for next month.
I'm glad that he's finally agreed to a debate on September 10th. I'm looking forward to it and hope he shows up.
Trump Thursday also challenging Harris to accept two other proposed debates and dismissing her rise in the polls following President Biden's decision to step out of the race.
When people find out about her, I think she'll be much less. And I see it right now. I see her going way down in the polls now. Presidency was taken away from Joe Biden, and I'm no Biden fan. But whether he could win or he couldn't win, he had the right to run, and they took it away.
The former president said his strategy for winning the election hasn't changed with the Democratic ticket, calling Harris a failure on illegal immigration as the borders are, and also pointing to the economy and foreign policy as key issues.
We have a lot of bad things coming up. You could end up in a depression of the 1929 variety, which would be a devastating thing. Took many years, took decades to recover from it. And we're very close to that, and we're very close to a world war, in my opinion.
Meanwhile, Harris and her new running mate, Minnesota Governor Tim Walz, are on the campaign trail, focusing their attention on southwestern swing states, holding a rally in Phoenix today and Las Vegas on Saturday.
We got 89 days to get this done. You know, the one thing about all of us is we like hard work. Hard work is good work.
Trump is also back on the campaign trail this weekend with an event scheduled in Montana. And in just a few weeks, the country will see the two together for the first time on the debate stage. Caitlin Burke, CBN News, Washington.
Well, turning now to the Olympics, where the U.S. has been dominating the medal count and adding to it multiple historic performances in track and field this week. One of the highlights, Sydney McLaughlin-Levrone, repeating as Olympic champion in the women's 400-meter hurdles, breaking the world record for the 6th time, winning the 100th U.S. medal as she crossed that finish line, saying, quote, "Thank you, God," after her victory, and talking about her faith in the press conference afterward.
I credit all that I do to God. He's given me a gift. He's given me a drive to just want to continue to improve upon myself, and I have a platform and I want to use it to glorify Him. And so whenever I step on the track, it's always the prayer of God, let me be the vessel in which you're glorified, whatever the result is, how I conduct myself, how I carry myself, not just how I perform. And so it's just freedom in knowing that regardless of what happens, He's going to get the praise through me. And yeah, that's why I do what I do.
Wow, Andrew, it's great to see Olympic athletes sharing their faith on the world stage.
Yeah, the 700 Club has followed Sydney's journey for a while. We've done interviews with her, and she is a class act and very bold for Jesus. She loves to live for Him. Back-to-back golds, another world record. It's been an exciting and dramatic Olympics for America. It was Noah Lyles, who ran with COVID, it turned out, came in with the bronze. And, of course, now there's a little bit of controversy over that he had a COVID diagnosis. Also suffers from asthma, but he did very well in the race. Steph Curry dropped 36 in a huge comeback win for the United States just yesterday. And looking at team sports. And Terry, I don't know if you know, have you ever heard of Quincy Wilson, track runner for the United States, 16 years old. Wow. 16, if you can try and get that through your head. Very exciting what's going on for the United States in the Olympics this time around.
It's been fun to watch all of it, hasn't it?
Yeah.
Yes.
And there's someone from right down the street who did quite well, too, out of a local high school. So it's exciting around here.
It really is, and it has dominated my evenings.
That's a nice way to do it.
It is.